Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. In case people start throwing things, I want to be at a distance. So we are live. All right. Again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for February. Hi. Okay. So we had a work session, but it really wasn't because we didn't have a quorum. But we did discuss some things at the time. We now do have a quorum for our meeting, and to prove that, if you could, Maria, have a roll call
Commissioner Boyle Adipo? Commissioner Pinnock? Chair Justino?
here.
We have a quorum. We have three.
Thank you. Item number 2 is approval of minutes. However, we do not have the September 16 minutes to approve at this point. There was a little glitch. So we are going to hold those over to our next meeting. Item number 3 is a public hearing, and this is a continued public hearing. It's 3.1, case number CB 25322 North Third Avenue, Section 165-62, Block 1117, Lot 8 in the CB Commercial Business and DB Downtown Business Zones. The board previously received proof of mailing, proof of publication in the Journal News, and proof of initial sign posting for the application. The board has also received an affidavit of sign posting stating that October 28, 2025, a sign was posted at the site giving notice of the zoning board's November 8th, 2025 meeting. The board also received photographs showing that the sign posting on the property has been updated as required notice for today's meeting. The owner, Peter Andolino of 22 North Third Realty Corp., is represented by his architect, Tom Abalama. The applicant is seeking to obtain use and area variances for a proposed structure at 22 North Third Avenue. The subject property is 10,242 square feet. It is located on North Third Avenue near the intersection of North Third Avenue and East Prospect Avenue in both the CB Commercial Business and DB Downtown Business zoning districts. Use and area variance request, Article 278, attachments 2 and 3. So I'll just briefly go over the required and then the proposed and the variance percentage requested. There's a use variance. It's required. The CB Commercial Business Zone requires one for the proposed multifamily building use variance to allow for proposed multifamily residential use. And that will have a separate set of requirements for us to make that approval, which we'll talk about as we get into it. Then there are area variances. There's an area variance for building height in the CB Commercial District. What is permitted is 30 feet or 2 stories. What is being proposed is 154 feet or 15 stories with if these percentages are correct, 400% increase in the height and a 600% increase in the amount of stories. The area variance for building height in the DB Downtown District is a bit different. It's allowed 120 feet or 10 stories, and they're requesting 154 feet, 15 stories. Those are less, but the variances requested are 28% in height and 40% in stories. Actually, it's a little more than that. It's 50%. Anyway. Then there's an area variance in the C zone for the building coverage. Permitted is 50%, proposed is 100%. That's 100% requested variance. Area variance building coverage of the DB Downtown District allowed is 80, proposed is 100%. That's 25% variance. Area variance impervious surface coverage in the CB Commercial District, 80%. In the multifamily, in the proposed, it's 100%, again, a 25% variance request. And the parking area variance is 164 spaces required, 63 are proposed. There's 96 spaces of variance needed, which is 60%. The application has been sent to the fire department, the police department, the water bureau, DPW, and the city engineer for comments. Because the application requires use variance, it must be referred to the Westchester County Planning Board. Secra, the proposed use and area variances are classified as an unlisted action for Secra purposes. The ZBA should determine whether it intends to serve as lead agency for the environmental review of this proposed action. Okay,
David, Karen, when that's all we receive is every number. I'm the attorney for the applicant, during the meeting, further here today. I believe it's addressed just only one previously
yes.
on this matter. What I'd like to do is I'd like to turn this right over to the architect. So that the architect can show basically things that are needed from your board. Bearing in mind that even though this is under the current CB zone, the design of the building is designed along what the new zone will be when the city gets around to completing the rezone. So even though it looks like a large number of variances, okay, it is not based upon the reality that the current CB zone will be the zone in place when this building gets built if it's approved by the zoning board. Okay, so.
So I'm going to just clarify that for the public as well. So as you mentioned, the downtown vision report shows some change to the DB zone. But correct me if I'm wrong, we talked earlier, there is not a change for the CB zone. Is that correct? So in other words, the proposal is on is in two zones currently. We don't know now whether they're going to incorporate.
We don't know how,
And
we don't know exactly how big the variance would be in that case.
Well,
right, and then also there is not a guarantee that that will ultimately be the case, not adopted yet. So
Understood.
that's fine. Your point is well taken, but just to
it's
clarify.
all understood. Mr. Andolino was approached actually by the planning department some time ago about his property and was actually encouraged to put together a building of this type and this design. So based upon that in part, and based upon what we understand the new zone to look like or to be when and if it's approved, and we believe that it's going to be approved, the design of this building encompasses that so that if the approvals are granted, it will be constructed along those lines. So now I'm going to turn it over to the architect, and the architect can go through this with you. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having us here. My name is Esther Martinez, an associate with Tom Avilamas. I would like to start the presentation tonight. So as you were reading in the minutes or on the agenda, right? So we are here presenting to you the 14 stories building. By the way, on the agenda, it says 15 stories. It's supposed to be 14 stories. There is a little mistake over there. But it's just me that I'm, I hear and it's not according to the plans and the application. So it's 14 stories plus basement levels for parking. So as to say, and as we have in the plans, we are proposing 63 parking spaces as of now, right? And it would be on the line of the future of Mount Vernon. So right now, this is more or less how the building section is gonna look like. So we're gonna have 12 stories, counting the first story of retail space, 11 story of apartment, and 2 story of penthouses. And on the first floor, we're gonna have, mechanical. That's the basement. The first floor is gonna have mechanical, gym, the lobby area, and commercial space next to, on the first floor building. And the typical floor here show the floor plans, and we have provided the breakdown of the units per floor. So it was requested within the last meeting. This is how it's going to look. The height of the building we are proposing is 154 feet at 6 inches altogether. including the penthouses. And this is it in regards to the floor plans. So our project is literally aligns with the recently adopted or like in process to be adopted of downtown density distribution section of the comprehensive plan, which permits residential up to 15 stories in this area. And the proposed building will feature bi-level basement as I presented on the plans, parking, which is gonna be 0.925 spaces per unit. The,
How many units are there? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
How many units are in the building proposed?
68,
There are 68 apartments in the building?
yes. 68. Yeah, 68 apartments. So as of now, the parking spaces that we are providing is on the range of 0.925%, with the future being 0.7 if get approved by.
Again, I'm going to ask you from refraining from a proposal that has not been adopted, because there is still a lot of discussion in the city regarding that proposal. And parking is one of the major issues. So it's not helpful.
It should
You
also,
can tell us what you're doing and how it varies from what it is current. We understand that, there are some changes that are coming down the road, but we don't know what they're going to be.
parking is currently based on 2 spaces per unit, which is the
Right,
current
that's
zone.
current, right.
But since the building is within 500 feet of the municipal parking lot, we have access to the spaces in the municipal parking lot with the approval of the planning board. So if we get through the zoning board
So,
and parking becomes an issue that the zoning board wants to make a condition of any final approval, they could leave it up to the planning board to approve the additional spaces that we would need, which would be somewhere around, what, 60?
Around, yeah.
Would be approximately 60 additional spaces, okay? So it's, even with the current zone, under the current situation, being within 500 feet of the municipal parking lot, there is the possibility of the planning board granting approval to allow residential units to use these spaces in the parking garage.
all right, so we spoke about that briefly before we went public, and Will, if you could clarify what the code states. I just want to make sure that I understood what you said earlier.
Now regarding the proximity of the municipal,
Yeah, and what uses, what building uses or land uses can utilize that?
any non-residential structure or facility, involving, yeah. Okay, yeah, it does, involving more than 4,000, the approving agency may allow all or a portion of the parking spaces required to serve structural uses be located within a municipal parking facility operated by the city of Mount Vernon within 500 feet of the structure or uses to be served, provided that the applicant demonstrates to the satisfaction of the approving agency that the current capacity of the municipal parking facility will satisfy those.
All right. So there are a few things. One is it says non-residential use. So that zone, that code allows for our body to consider that for a non-residential use.
Yeah.
There's also what's the term about the area coverage?
That's actually not.
So we're not in that. Well, in this case, it doesn't matter, right? Because,
Because it, yeah.
okay. And then the second thing is, the other problem is, is that the garage is not in the best shape at this point. We understand. So those things are, I wish that they were available to everybody who wanted to shop and live and do that. But right now, not sure that's the case. So we have to be
Underutilized.
careful in that.
It's an underutilized lot that needs work, and perhaps during the course of the construction of the project, work could be done on the parking lot to assist the city in bringing the parking lot into better condition. But there is a possibility that the planning board can approve the non-commercial parking in that lot, presuming that the lot has the capacity to take the additional cars, which it does because it's probably the most underutilized lot in the city, but that all remains to be seen. But just so you understand, the space is on the site. can also be enhanced by the spaces within a parking garage within
All right,
500
so-
feet.
I think Will is saying, though, that the code states that if it's a non-residential building, we can utilize the municipal lot.
Then it's a.
The approving agency.
Wait. Hang on a sec. We're just going to make sure we're all on the same page.
Like, it's in a commercial zone, but it's a residential building, so like that's the trick, like. Most buildings that would be constructed in proximity to that lot would make sense with, because they would be non-residential, but this is residential.
Correct.
But-
So it does not qualify.
But aren't we granting a variance so that it's no longer commercial, it's residential? That's what they're looking for.
Like, if it was a non-residential, geez, no.
All right, I don't know if help me out because I'm really totally confused.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, and there's nothing in there about like, if you're granting a variance for a residential building, like.
Right. It says what it says.
Yeah, it's a.
So that's why I'm confused, because you're saying it says what it says, but then also saying that, so therefore we and the zoning board can say, okay, use it. But we're saying that the code right now is not really giving us that power.
I may be wrong, and you could stop me if I'm wrong, but I believe the planning board would have the jurisdiction to allow residential parking to be utilized in a municipal lot. It's been done many times before, okay, throughout the city.
Yeah.
So,
It probably is a planning board purview,
Right.
since they deal with parking, but we have to consider the variance first, and I don't know. You know what?
Well-
Let's get past this.
but just one final thing from me. You can always make it conditional with reference to the parking of approval of the appropriate agency to authorize the parking in the municipal lot. Very simple. It's been done many times before, and I'm sure it can be done again going forward.
Okay,
Thank you for hearing me.
thank you.
That's it. So I already finished on the plan unless you have questions.
So, question is no retail on the bottom, correct?
Yes, we have retail on the first, floor,
There is retail on the bottom.
commercial on the first floor, retail.
How much of the, I mean, because you have a entrance into, because you only have frontage, you have no side and back access,
Yeah,
correct?
we have, it's hard not to have it there, so you kind of see. The north there, here, on the left side, you may have like a copy of the plans with you. On the left side here, we have.
What page are you looking, should I be looking at?
01,
A101?
yes.
Okay. So it's the lobby, and so you're showing,
Bistro.
retail that looks like a bistro or restaurant that goes from front to back.
Yes, with the commercial
Okay.
kitchen on the back, bathrooms,
Okay,
and a gym for, amenities for the building.
okay. I'm gonna also ask you to speak closer to the microphone, because I'm having trouble hearing you, and we are also broadcasting, so people are not gonna be able to hear you.
Can you hear
Is
me?
the
Can you-
microphone on? Yeah,
Can you hear me better?
yes.
Yes, so the bistro, which is gonna be a retail, is located on the left
Okay.
side of the, of the plan. And we also have a gym and the lobby on the same level. The gym is gonna be amenity to the building, to the 68 units.
Okay. So, just kind of like a internal comment to staff. I think we need to think about having our applicants have a PowerPoint presentation that we can plug into the system so that it can be seen, because nobody in the audience can see that. Nobody online can see it. And quite honestly, from this distance, which Jack, you're right, I'm too far away. It's hard to see the detail. I do have the plan in front of me, so that does help a little bit.
You guys have. You've given me
We have-
If you do it, I can put it on this.
So the next.
Those PDFs were all sent out.
So we can, it's just that it's not plugging the.
So whatever, you know, that's it. It hasn't been required, but I think I would like the staff to consider that for land use presentations.
I'd be able
So-
to.
Just a question, Mr.
Yeah, yeah,
Chairman.
right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
where would it be shown? On these screens?
on all four screens.
Okay. So basically, you
We
gotta,
brought the lab, the plans and everything to learn something. It's just that we don't have the, you know.
Right, no, I understand that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's good.
so we'll put together a
A presentation.
presentation on that so that they can see it and the public can see.
The
it
public can see it.
online. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's also shared under the meeting. and-
Okay. So the other question I have is you were before us prior. What are what changes were made from the last time you were here, if any? So there's no changes from the initial presentation. And so what was the delay between then and now? Well, you came before us, no? When was that? Do we know?
We started with that story at the same time when we went to the board.
We asked to the board and.
When you, what
chairman-
board? What board?
The chairman
okay.
here, that we want to go up to 14 stories. And we decided at that time, it's a 14-story building. We worked on everything at that time, and we still are the same thing, that we didn't change anything at all.
Please,
Okay, so.
turn the mic on. Is the mic on, Lucas?
Now it is. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
My understanding from looking at my notes from the July 15th meeting, which was the last time we reviewed this, is that the instructions were to come back and present things more clearly, particularly when it comes to the financial hardship, the use variance test. Because the discussion at the last meeting was you need both use and area variances. The use variance is a heavier lift. Let's see if you can meet the test criteria for the use variance. That was what the board discussed at the last meeting. So if you're prepared to discuss the use variance, that's where we should begin.
Thank you.
Do you come on?
The applicant had provided a pro forma which was submitted to the zoning board. Okay? As well as a budget that was submitted to the zoning board. So that's been submitted. Pro forma. And a budget for the project.
And the findings.
Right.
And this as well was submitted.
Okay.
This
Here
is
it
the
is.
only copy I have for this, but I have copies of the.
I got
the
copies
budget.
too.
You have copies of
Yeah.
that?
They should have it too.
Yeah, we submitted.
So this is, you filled out the
The use variance,
environmental assessment form, right?
yes,
And you say you filled out the use variance findings,
yes.
and I'm going to look for that. My apology if it's here and
Finance.
Where did this come from?
That's it.
Is it in here?
I don't see it.
That was you.
Okay. I don't see that. The staff have that document?
No, I did.
Pro forma in the file.
I emailed it myself.
Okay.
Well, we go through OpenGov. That's how applications are submitted.
What's that?
Has to be uploaded to OpenGov. Who did you email it to? I didn't receive any.
Well, you're telling me it has to be uploaded to the city site,
OpenGov.
uploaded to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we receive.
And I'm told by other people that it doesn't get uploaded to that, it gets sent directly to the board.
Who did you talk to?
Huh, Brad,
Who? Brad doesn't work here.
Brad Schwartz?
Well, he's a lawyer for the city zoning agency.
He
Not- not
represents the
no,
city
he's
council.
Not, he's not employed by this board.
No, he
works for the
represents the city
only.
council.
You mean to tell me you didn't get this? It's absurd.
All right,
Well,
it's,
we're gonna hand it in to you right now, but it went out at least, I'd say, a month ago. When
To
when
Brad
they first
Schwartz?
said, huh?
You sent it to Brad Schwartz?
No, we sent it to the zoning board. Okay? When I go back to my office, I'll
Yeah,
bring
I
out
guess you-
my trail to show that the email was sent, but it's neither here nor there because we'll submit the copies now. You'll have them. And you should, hopefully you would have had them already, but you
yeah.
didn't get them, so
Yeah.
you're gonna get them tonight.
All right, so you mailed both this use variance findings
Yes?
and you mailed a pro forma,
Pro forma and a
which, when you say pro forma, what specifically?
profit and loss
For this,
Building.
what you're looking to build?
for this building, yeah, for
Okay.
this project.
Unfortunately, the benchmark is much more stringent than that if you're not comparing other uses. Because it's not for you to prove to us that what you want to build is profitable. What
No,
we,
no, the point is that the current use is not profitable. And there's a financial hardship because it cannot generate a reasonable profit, or in his case, any profit. So that's why he has to move on to something else. We're not talking about the profitability of it going forward. We're talking about the reason why we're asking for a use variance based upon a financial hardship that wasn't self-created because he's been there for 30 years. And over a period of 30 years, things went downhill. And as a result, financially, he was not in a position to go forward with the property.
okay.
And
So
he had-
I hear what you're saying, but again, it's not, to stand and say that I can't make a profit the way I have my bakery there now, but I can make a profit with this 15 or 14-story building. Where's the analysis for a 10-story building? You're asking for very high use variances, area variance as well. And again, there is no guarantee that what you've seen online and it's a very complex situation. It's not that we want to give the owner a hard time, but that's our requirement because if you don't give us that information and we approve it, somebody could Article 78 and now everybody's in court and we don't want to do that, right? That's what we're trying to avoid. We want to make sure that it's looked at, with a little more detail. And I know in the past that really has not been asked of many landowners, but this board wants to start doing things the right way. And so that's why,
Okay, so just so I have it clear, what is it that you want us to show with reference to the financial hardship aspect of this? We show what the current hardship is, and you want to see how that is
So-
alleviated by the new project. Is that
No.
it? Well, then what is it?
no. So again, this is a heavy lift with all the training or whatever training we've had, we've always been told the use variance is a very heavy lift. And it's a very heavy lift for us to make a decision, but also for the applicant, because what you're really supposed to do is take every possible use that is allowed on the property
Mhm.
and look at it and determine, oh, maybe if I did this, I can make a profit. And so that's where the heavy lift is. We're not asking you to do 20 different scenarios, but I think at least to say, all right, we want to put up a building, but when you came here initially, we were concerned, and we still are, about the height of the building. As much as, the downtown thing, vision says that maybe it'll be taller or it'll be whatever, it's still kind of out of place. You're right near the CB zone where there's an old Art Deco building. The back of the building will stick up like a sore thumb over all the buildings on Gramerton Avenue. And you're right next to a garage and you're going to be, so it feels out of place. I understand, that unfortunately he happens to be in a spot that has those circumstances that surround it. So in my opinion, if you should be able to say, okay, we understand we're looking for 15, but maybe we can get away with 9 or 8. Would you consider that? But you're not showing us that you can't make a profit with that. So that's really what I feel is what should be presented to us.
So you want us to state and establish that we can't make a reasonable profit on any other use permitted in the CB zone? Okay,
That's what the law states.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I'm familiar with that. All right. And other than that, I mean, the reason, as I said in the beginning, and I know it's awkward, but I mean, in 6 months, this whole zone could change, and all those buildings, regardless of the Art Deco building, could be 15-story buildings going up there. Okay? So we will present a little bit more in the way of evidence on the financial hardship aspect of this, and the profitability of the project or the property based on the current zoning. Okay, we'll do that for your next meeting.
Well, and again, we don't need to see the profitability. We just, need you to present something that says, if we build this, we can make money. If I build
Understood.
this less 30%,
Understood.
I'm making money, but very little. And if I go one step further, I make no money and it's not an investment that I want to make.
Understood.
So that's all. So we don't know that right now. We don't see it. It hasn't been presented. And in reality, that is what we need to look at. Now, I don't know if anybody else, I want to make sure that I'm not going down a road that I'm by myself on. So please give us your opinions as well.
Be closer to what the requirement is. So if indeed we're looking at 10 stories and we want to go 14, I would want to see why that doesn't work. Why you have to go that much higher. Your situation is also complicated because of the CG plus DB that it's sitting in. And then to go from 2 stories up to 14 stories is a big lift. So you really do have to demonstrate by law that financial reasons why you can't make it.
Okay. And so you would like us to make a presentation, video type presentation, okay? So that everybody can see it better.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would make sense to have this. This would be, if we want to get into, I don't know if it makes sense to get into anything beyond, because the use variance is the heavy lift. And we can talk about area variances and then get to use and realize, we can't make this work. So unless somebody on the board or staff thinks that we should do area variance and then go to use, I'll take advice.
Well, what I would recommend doing is there was a statement of principal points that was submitted. The statement of principal points addresses the area variances, does not address the test for the use variance. So I would redo this, do both sets of analyses, one for the use variance, one for the area variances. You have to make your case that the, this is all in state statute. I mean, we can go over it together, at a meeting or, over the phone, but you have to address that test.
Okay. So you need more work on the use variance aspect of the development. Okay. Anything else?
Well, I hate to say no, because as you know, as we dive into things
Oh, we
come up,
never know.
right? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So, but again, just to reiterate, the use variance, we need that. And then we still think that the area variances are extreme. So clearly that's part of the hurdle that you'll have to convince us.
Okay.
But I think, proving the area of the use variance is needed. So here's the thing though, we can give you the use variances for 6 stories. It's different than giving you a use variance for 14. And so that's critical. That's part of this, right? That you can't separate the two of them. So,
Okay, I understand.
all right.
All right, so we'll come back next meeting and
Yeah.
give you more
And,
information on the use variance.
Apologize that we didn't have that information. I think we still might have been where we are now anyway, even though we didn't see the pro forma, which really is just a part of the story. It doesn't really help us in that sense. And that the EAF form, which that will be part of SECRA, if we're the ones who declare lead agency or not. We'll go over that. If we don't, we will actually, what we should do tonight is send out a memo to planning and zoning, whoever we send memos out to say we are considering lead agency for SECRA and see if they have any objections or, and what did we do? Did we discuss this the last time?
Right, last time we did not do lead agency because where are my notes here? We wanted to wait for more information.
So we didn't make a decision one way or the other.
Right.
Right.
So do
Okay.
you have a clear enough picture now, or you want to wait?
Well, so if we were to say that, we shouldn't say that now even. Until we decide, okay, we know more and yeah, we want to be lead agent, or no, we don't.
Right, because I mean, what the applicant is saying is, well, there's a planning board decision that might impact, should the planning board be lead agency?
Right.
And maybe that makes, I don't know. I mean, the thing is we've got an application where we're not really,
Well, I mean, ultimately, if we get past zoning, it goes to planning anyway for site plan review. And
Right.
any conditions dealing with planning could be a part of that application as well. So, but that's jumping ahead.
Right.
You want us to deal with the use variance in a better way.
Yeah. And the only reason I even said that is I was just trying to maybe speed up the process a little bit, but I think that's an improper thing at this point to say, to make a declaration to be lead agent. So we should still wait and again, process, then that goes out and then, there's always another month after that, but the processes take a little longer than everybody would like them to, but we'll
Okay,
hopefully
all right.
make a lot of progress at the next meeting.
All right, then, thank you. So the next meeting,
Thank you.
which will be
December 16.
16th? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we want the public to speak or?
we do have, well, the public hearing is open.
Yeah, so,
We do have some comments that came in.
okay,
So we have some, let me get to these attachments here.
I'm gonna ask you to put the mic closer.
Sorry, yes. Okay, so it's the problem.
No, you don't, that's okay. I'll, you can.
So
take it back.
first, we have, what is it? Okay, let me get the public comments here. We received, a consent form from, Mr. Josh, Copel, who works at 102 Gramenon Avenue. That was just a consent form with no comments written on it. And then we received a response from the county planning board. So we referred this to the county planning board, even though we had not declared lead agency yet. It would be referred to them a second time. Once lead agency is declared, they get the lead agency circulation. However, since we had enough with the plans, I sent it to the county planning board to get preliminary comments from them.
Mhm.
If you were interested, I can read them.
Yeah, we did read, I did read them. I think at this point, let's put it in a record at the next meeting, but once we get past, or has the applicant seen the comments from the county? Okay, so again, what I would suggest, if there's things in the county, because they did speak fairly positively, which is not unexpected, that if you want to incorporate that in your presentation, then you should. Obviously, it's a document that supports your project. Doesn't mean we support what they say, but you surely. So I'm going to leave it up to you to really enter that verbally into the record if you want to. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, any other comment from the public or written submitted?
No,
No.
it's just that one comment form,
Okay, all right.
consent form.
So it is a public hearing, I would ask if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak about this project. It's your opportunity to come up with your name and let us hear what you have to say. Anybody in the audience would like to speak about this application? Now's the time. And one more time. Come on, Will. All right, so no one wants to speak, that's fine. We don't have a lot of people. There's nobody online that wants to speak. In fact, there's nobody online. So that's that. So a motion to adjourn the public hearing till December's meeting. And seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. See you next month. And if there are questions along the way that you need clarification on, please call staff, write staff. OpenGov, make sure they get loaded up to OpenGov and all that good stuff. Thank you again. All right. So next on the agenda. This is a new public hearing, 3.2 case number ZB 25-4, 219 West Third Street, section 165-62, block 11117, lot 8 in the CB commercial business zone. Why does that number look the same as? Something's not right. Because we have the same section, block, and lot number for the previous.
That must have been that.
Well, it is a typo. So which one is it? Who is section 165?
25-4. 25-3.
It's section 169.21, block
All right, so hold on a second. So
3014.
you're saying this is really for the Third Avenue one? And so now tell me what the third.
No, this is West Third Street, what I was saying.
All right, I'm going to ask the question, if you can answer my question. And my question is, this section 165 is correct for Third Avenue. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so tell me now the section for Third Street.
Section 169.21, block 3014, lots 22 and 23.
169.2.
Okay,
Could you repeat that?
I will state it again.
Okay.
3.2, case number ZB 25-4, 219 West Third Street, section 1692.21, block 3014, lots 22 and 23 in the CB commercial business zone. Okay. Regarding public notice, the board received proof of mailing on October 28th, proof of publication in the Journal News on October 31 and November 4th, 2025, and proof of initial sign posting for the application. The board has also received an affidavit of sign posting stating that on October 28, 2025, a sign was posted on the site giving notice of the zoning board's November 18, 2025 meeting. The board also received photographs showing that the sign posting on the property has been updated, providing notice of today's meeting. The owner, Michael Giori, is that correct? Giori? Of 230 West Third Storage LLC is represented by his architect, Tom Abalama. I'm going to just interrupt at this point, so I don't forget. Do we have a copy of the LLC managing partners and operating agreement? All right, so we're gonna look into that because we need that as part of the record. The applicant is seeking to obtain area variances for a proposed self-storage facility at 219 West Third Street. The subject property is 21,074 square feet, is located on West Third Street near the intersection of West Third Street and South 14th Avenue in the CB Commercial Business District. Area variance is requested. Section 26732, self-storage facilities in CB Commercial Business District and attachments 2 and 3. So the item seeking variance is building height in stories per 267-32, self-storage facilities in the CB Commercial Business District have a permitted story 5, and what's being proposed is 6, and it's 1-story variance or 20%. Will, Lucas, did you want to say something?
We have the operating agreement.
Thank you. Can you make sure we get that? We might have gotten in the,
It's on OpenGov. Yeah, we,
but I don't think I saw it in the document sent.
so it's up to the applicant to compile the, what you see. And we tell that to every applicant.
All right, so
Do
it's-
it,
it's-
do it. I mean, it's so.
Okay, all right, so whatever, it's a work in process, I guess.
We can also give you the login. You can see everything. If you want that.
Can I get back to you on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so, but I would ask, is it possible for you to grab that out of OpenGov and mail it to the board members? Or no, not this minute.
Sure, of course, yeah.
You know, whatever, within the next week.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's good. And then we can discuss the OpenGov access at a later
Can I
time.
have the word? Can I have? Part of the package, one of them have the full operating agreement. It's over 60 pages. Remember I told you, Maria? You said, give me one, and then it will be uploaded into the OpenGov. So that's why he can see it, but it was just one copy submitted as part of all the copies that we brought
Right,
here.
but it has to be in all the packages when you send it, when we get it. Don't worry, I probably have that one package.
So what application are you speaking about?
No, I'm saying.
No, what
it was
application are you referring to right now?
This one that you are talking like.
Oh, so you're involved in this one as well? Okay,
Sorry again.
all right, no, that's fine. I
I just.
saw that you were
clarify it was
saying, I
submitted, Yeah,
kind of assumed that, but I wasn't positive. Okay,
it was submitted. Yes.
thank you. Okay, so they're looking for a area variance for building stories permitted 5, 6 proposed, 20% variance. Building coverage as a percentage of property, 50%. They're proposing 86% or a 36%. That's not right. That's a 72% variance. And this is a 21% variance. And so the impervious surface is permitted 80%, proposed 96.5. That's a 21% variance. Parking spaces 22, proposing 16, 6 spaces, I believe 27% is correct. And loading zone spaces, 4 spaces, 2 being provided. That's a 2-space variance, 50%. The application has been sent to the fire department, the police department, the water bureau, DPW, and city engineers for comments. This application was within 500 feet of the border of the city of Mount Vernon and the New York City borough of the Bronx, and therefore must be referred to the Westchester County Planning Board. Secret, the proposed use of the area variances are classified as unlisted actions for secret purposes. ZBA should determine whether it intends to serve as lead agency for the environmental review of this proposed site. So just a question, because we don't refer this application to the city of New York, just to Westchester?
No, okay, so we have to refer, well, wait, okay, so the county planning board will not receive the zoning ZBA referral. The county planning board does not review area variances unless it's on a property that abuts a state or county road or a state or county park. The site plan, when it gets to the planning board, is referable because it's within 500 feet of a municipal boundary. And then that would also then be referred to the city of New York at the same time.
Okay. So at that point, it would be referred to the city of New York.
At the site plan.
But you just said, I thought you said that the zoning applications don't get referred to the Westchester County.
Right, so, okay, so if you want to know the long story,
Well,
New York,
just want to learn.
okay, New York State, general municipal law, section 239 of general municipal law dictates what gets referred from the municipal government to a county. In Westchester County, we have, the county administrative code has another set of laws that conflict with general municipal. As a result, the county's regulations supersede the state regulations. The county's regulations require that area variances be referred only when a property abuts a state or county road. Mount Vernon has no state roads, has no county roads except for former county roads, which are treated as county roads, but those are not, this site is not a but either. Site plan review is under the jurisdiction of the general municipal law, not the county administrative code. That requires referral within 500 feet. So for a site plan, if it's within 500 feet of a municipal boundary, which in this case it is, it would then be referred to the county for the site plan review. And that's when we would also.
Okay,
make the referral.
so that's what, I'm not going to belabor this much more, but that's what you said prior. But it says in here that this zoning application is being referred to the county. You just went through a litany of things that says that zoning doesn't get referred to the county.
In this case, it will not.
All right,
Those
so
are
that's
site plan
incorrect. This is incorrect. All right, so we really should not be sending this to the county, only if it goes before the planning.
Just one question. When it gets to the planning board, the abutting county is Bronx County.
Right,
So when you go to the Bronx County Planning Board,
that's right.
it would not come to Westchester County.
No. It goes, so the county, Westchester County Planning Board reviews any site plan application that's within 500 feet of any municipal boundary within the, if it's any municipality in Westchester, if there's a site plan review that's within 500
But I'm
feet.
talking about Bronx County.
Hmm?
This is within 500 feet of Bronx County.
Right,
So Westchester County Planning Board would not be reviewing that for Bronx County.
no, Bronx, we would always refer it to the
Well,
Bronx
that's
County.
all. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that's clear.
Yep, we'll refer it
Okay.
to them and they most likely will not respond.
Right.
Right, with all that being said, they won't respond. Okay,
The county will respond, however. They
Yeah.
always respond.
okay. Let me just see my notes. All right, Mr. Desso,
Yeah,
you're.
Jackie
up again?
Desso, 153 Stevens Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, attorney for the applicant, who is present tonight, Mr. Michael Jury, who would like to address the board and go through the PowerPoint presentation that he's prepared. And then we will go directly to the architect and the plans themselves. So, Mr. Jury, would you come up, introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. Michael Jory, 102 Quill Close, Irvington, New York. Can we get the PowerPoint
I'm
on
getting it up right now.
up here? Be great. Take my glasses off.
Do we have the PowerPoint?
No, I don't have anything. You can send me anything.
We have it on a USB. We can.
Oh, okay, we got it on USB. Yeah.
So in the meantime, can you tell me, the building, existing building, is it in use currently?
No, it's a vacant derelict building. It had been a canteen supply,
Canteen, you said?
vending machines and school vendings, and that, it was a vending company.
Okay,
Operated out of that building. It's a 1-story, 15,000 square foot building.
Yeah.
Covers the entire lot with building and paving. And it's been vacant now, I don't know, something like 5 years.
So
or
there's
so.
a building and a parking lot, so.
Correct.
Correct, and you, and this, so
In
right
no-
now, there is a parking lot and a building,
And the
that
parking
you're
lot's
looking-
fenced and vacant.
parking lot what?
Parking lot is fenced and locked, so there's nothing on the.
Okay. And when did you purchase the property?
Whew. When did we get this approvals? 3 years ago?
The last planning was a year ago, when we got it approved for the same building that we have right now. But we got it approved 4 years ago.
Right, so I think we closed on it 3 years ago.
So when this was first went before the planning board for a special permit, is that correct? Would it, would
Well,
be?
we actually developed with the planning board and the city council, we actually developed there was no code for self-storage. So we actually developed it at that time with them.
Okay,
So we went through the whole process and I don't know, I don't think we needed a use for it.
Bottom line is, since there was nothing per se in the code at the time regarding self-storage units in any zone in the city, we worked through the planning board, okay? And we made the application through the planning board, and then I guess in conjunction with the city council and whoever else was involved in it, they granted the variances that we needed to build the unit, okay? And then COVID hit and all the complications from COVID.
so I don't mean to interrupt you, but when you worked with the planning board and the council created legislation to put this into our code?
Yes,
Yes?
the resulting code, I believe, came about as a result of this particular application. Even though there were self-storage units around the city, many of which I represented, they were done by use variances, okay? And they determined that they wanted to get away from the use variance aspect of it and put it in a code situation. And that's how this evolved. So the approval was granted, as you'll see, and now he's here to ask for something else, and he'll make his presentation to you.
Okay, I have a couple questions, but I'll let you go because
You go to the next, I guess I asked you to page through it for me.
Oh, no.
I get, in 2021, we received our approval. Now I need my glasses to see that part. For a 5-story building. We got all the variances we needed. And the approvals, as we said, were granted during COVID. I can do it here. And a lot of what we got approved has obviously changed the needs since then. You can go to the next one. I can successfully finance this project with additional square footage. I don't know, we have letters from my broker saying that he's aggressively marketed this thing for the last 3 years to hundreds of potential developers and joint venture partners unsuccessfully. And I actually also have people who are willing to do this project with the additional square foot. And I actually have a letter of intent that I can present to the board as well.
So let me ask, so you will be looking for approvals and then selling the property and the plans?
I will hope to do a joint venture
Okay,
because I need help with the financing end of it. But I just wanted to impress upon the board that it's not like I'm going to come back here next year asking for 14 stories. So this works with the additional square footage. So basically, these are the changes we're proposing. We had a drive-through, which was really a COVID-driven thing that we really don't need anymore. And I think actually the building is a lot better without it. It's cheaper to construct, and people will be running into the building less often. We're also cantilevering some space over the parking lot for additional footage. We had a green roof on the building, which we're replacing with solar panels. It's really going to give us the same benefit with a lot less weight and also decreasing our construction cost. And we're adding a 6th floor on the building, which is basically going to add 9 feet, 8.5 feet to the height of the building. And we're also suggesting we do have retail space on the ground floor, and we're proposing actually to host an AI incubator there, which is run by Via Touch Media, which is my current partner in the building, which I think will help bring in, tech into the city as well. And that's what we would like to use the retail space for. And you can go to the next one. Oh, can I actually run it from here as well? No? No, you have to go to the next one for me over there. Oh, you did. Thank you. Again, I don't have.
So I'm just going to ask you, why are you comparing 2010 to 2023 when you came before the city in 2021? And I believe there's not that kind of growth within the city. population-wise.
So I'm just trying to say over time, the city is growing.
Okay.
And the real key here is actually housing. There are many more housing units, and in fact, we were talking about housing just before. And self-storage is actually a real complement to new housing, new apartment housing. People are downsizing, they're moving into apartments, they got to do something with all their stuff. You can go to the next one, if you don't mind. And the other question is there demand for this project? And there's a huge amount of demand. This is current. There is demand for 364,000, if I'm reading that right from that far away. 344,000. Glasses off. And that's not even taking into account all the new development. If you can go to the next slide, the Mount Vernon West Transit-oriented zone is calling for perhaps 3,000 extra units. That's not in our current mathematics. And in the Envision Mount Vernon 10 years forward comprehensive plan, it states, and I quote, "At the time of this plan, there are upwards of 15 development projects with 10 or more proposed housing units in Mount Vernon. Collectively, these projects represent 1,700 new housing units." So if you add those together with the ones we know are already in the line, there's probably need for 80,000 more square footage in the city. It's going to be a green building. We're going to have solar panels on the roofs. This will significantly reduce traffic from its previous use, which I said was the canteen and food service delivery warehouse. And we'll have state-of-the-art electric heat pumps as well. You can go on. The advantages to this is also it promotes the West 3rd Street as a commercial corridor between Mount Vernon and the Bronx, which was also part of the comprehensive plan. This will really be the first building you see coming down the hill. It's downhill from the Bronx on I don't even know what that street is called in the Bronx. 200 and something street. Thank you. Obviously, it increases tax revenue. It reduces commercial vacancy. We have an old derelict building there. It's an underutilized property. And if we manage to get our tech partnership going, we'll actually have increased employment as well. And the last slide just discusses the AI incubator, which is just a way to make the retail space useful. Anybody else have something to add?
Mr. Martinez representing Tom Avilama's office. If you can go and put the plans up so we can show, please.
We lost,
There you go. So go to the following pages, please, where the plans are. There you go, there.
There.
So there, we would like to point out the fact that, the 16 spot of parking we are proposing are cantilever to the new square footages provided with new design. So right now, as approved, is 5 stories, as Michael was saying, and now we are proposing 6 stories building, which is an extra a story. But it's going to be a little larger because now we are cantilevering the parking spaces.
So how many units, storage units are you proposing?
Get to the microphone. It'll probably be around 400. I mean, you have to lay out the hallways and the unit mix.
It's really big.
But it's probably around 400. Oh, and I also should note that there is street parking on West Third as well.
As well.
So just equal number on each floor? Or how is this one?
Well, obviously, the ground floor would be different because that's a lot of that's taken up with retail, but basically floors 2 through 6 are pretty much the same. I mean, one has a bathroom, one doesn't, that kind of thing, but,
So 5 stories, how many storage units were you gonna have?
it was about 360. When you go up top, you tend to, I mean, they tend to be bigger units up top, smaller units at the bottom.
Mhm.
So I'm having trouble.
360?
I mean, the average unit size is about 100 square feet when you do these projects. But there's a lot of loss factor because there's a lot of hallways and there's elevators and there's bathrooms.
So I'm just having trouble trying to understand your rendering on the front page of your presentation, where it looks like you have cantilever, what would be on the west side of the property of the building. And then it looks like there's a cantilever on the right side as well.
I'm
And-
afraid this is not updated. This is the current approved project you're looking at here.
So this is not your project. What was submitted to us, the renderings is not the project. Is that what you're saying?
This is the approved set of plans.
All right, but that's not what you're here
Very
for. Is
little
that correct?
difference. I mean, it's going to look the same, but it'll be a little bit cantilever.
This is only 5 stories.
That's just.
I'm not sure why you're presenting plans that you're not even building.
Jump in on this.
No, the renderings, don't tell me the renderings, because the renderings are not of what you're building. I just asked you, I'm confused. I see cantilevering, I see a truck going through the property. It's 5 stories, not 6. This is not what you're building. So how are we supposed to make decisions based on what you've submitted to us? Okay,
So the plan.
so this page has no value. Is
Pictures
that
of
what
the
you're saying?
cover. The cover.
So
And the rest of it has value.
that page is like the building is going to look similar in terms
You know,
of. the
I think you need to
material.
redo the front page. Because honestly, when things like this happen, it's hard enough to figure out what you're doing, looking at plans. And that's why there's recommendations to doing this kind of profiling or pictures or depictions. And it's not right. So now I go back and I look at the floor plans and it's not matching up. So it's really unacceptable. So. All right, whatever. I've made my point.
So we have updated plans and elevations. It's just the model at the front page that it doesn't match the new building. So we got to take it. Yes, you're right. First page doesn't match the new building. But the elevations and the floor plans will.
Okay. Yeah.
So could you explain the parking again for me? Just so I understand what you were saying, because I think I
What
missed.
were you asking is about the cantilever portion of it?
Yeah, but how would that be?
So literally it's like, so if you go to the elevation, Derek? Is that your name, right, Derek? If you go to the elevation, so I can explain to her about how the cantilever worked.
What number page are you referring to? Yeah, that's okay. 201,
Page 201.
A 201?
Yes, A 201. So on the front elevation, you see the sign of the storage facility, and you know how the signs are going to be at the front.
Yeah.
It takes a little while, but I think you have the actual plans with you, so you can see what I'm talking about. And on the right side of the elevation, of the front elevation, you could see what it says parking. So literally that space is gonna be open, and then above is gonna be constructed. That's what we call cantilever. Yeah, you understand?
I mean, I see it, yes, so I see it now.
Yes.
And how many spaces?
We have 16 spaces. We have to point out that also there are street parking around the lot. that we
Where's
could-
there a
could be used.
diagram of the parking?
I'm sorry?
Where's the drawing of the parking relative to the building or just relative to the layout?
Page,
SP 003. Okay. And so where are you depicting, where's the cantilever?
so where you see the blue on the plan is literally on the first floor, what is gonna be built.
There's no blue on this plan.
Green? You mean the green?
Yes, are you seeing the same floor plan that I'm seeing?
I'd say yes.
So what color you have here?
I'm on SP 003.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's like a.
So
So
the
there's a-
left side, where it says office, retail, what color you have in there?
It says retail on the left, office in the middle, and
Yeah,
then
but
there's
the-
parking.
The shade area is blue, right? Like a light blue, no?
No,
No, not for our plans. It's not blue. It's like a green.
it's like a green, but the building is all green.
Right.
Anyway, so that area there, the shade area is where the building is gonna be on the first floor. And then the parking is gonna be just open, right, on the first floor.
So there's,
On the
I'm
ground.
trying to figure out where the cantilever is and why, I'm not, the parking lot is open to the sky that you show on your drawing?
It's not open to the sky because it's cantilever, so you have a roof, but you don't have four sides. It's gonna be,
So,
so if you go to the elevation, you will see matching condition between the plan and, the elevation view.
so I'm gonna go back to, what was the what that we looked at?
201.
201. So the parking lot in A 201 is where it says parking.
Yes.
You have a cantilever that is 5 stories.
No, the
With the open-
cantilever is just the parking area. So then on the second floor, you have the building going all the way to the sixth floor.
All right. So let me ask my question because I don't know what you answered. You're showing parking, and above the parking is 5 stories of building.
Correct.
And so underneath that 5 stories is completely open from front to back where there's parking?
Where
Which
the
is
parking is.
depicted, which is depicted in this SP 003?
You can go to A 102.
Hold on. The SP,
A 101.
the SP 003, you will see it there, but you also will see it on the next page, which is A 101, which is the ground floor, first floor plan.
Okay, so they look basically the same.
Literally,
All right.
yes. The SP is just a side
So
plan.
I'll
showed more.
repeat then my question. You can refer to SP 004 or SP 003, but in relation to A 2001,
Uh-huh.
you show parking, a 5-story building above half of it and a 3-story building above the other half of it. Is that?
5 stories after,
So
after the
yes,
parking. Uh-huh.
Okay, and so, but in this picture on SP 004, I'm seeing two columns and parking in between and what looks like just two openings. You're showing that there are three openings, so I am totally confused.
Where do you see the
There's
three
two openings there, right? To
Yes.
go into parking.
Uh-huh.
And when you look at SP 004, there are three openings.
SP 04, hold on. What is the SP 04? What is this 04?
If you look, Mr. Chairman, at 102, you see the whole,
I can't.
like, the whole building here is shown on the whole rectangle.
All right, I'm going to ask you to follow my questions and not defer me to something else. All right, because right now you haven't answered my question and I could be wrong. I could be totally confused. I am totally confused. I'll admit that. But until you can answer my specific question, don't point me to another page, please. So in between A201, where it shows two openings to the parking and building above it, cantilevered above it, on page SP 004, it looks like there are three openings because there are support columns that create these three openings, which does not coincide with A2001, unless
the SP
you can
04?
explain to me what's different. What am I missing? All right, I'm going to get up and we're going to look at it together. How's that? All right, we got it. SP 003 and 00, whatever, they're the same. Here's a column and here's a column. Here's an entrance to the parking, here's an entrance to the parking, and here's an.
Don't you enter a parking comes here only.
Okay. Well, what are these columns? Let's go back to this other page. That's, he has that.
Then you can look from here on top.
Can we go to the SP page? That's the that.
Oh, in the back?
Oh, no, it's the A page. The other way. There you go. So right here. Is this a column supporting the building?
Yes.
This is a column supporting the building? This is a column supporting the building? Yes. Okay. Maybe you should just put your finger on it, but you don't have to. I apologize for that. Okay, here we go. You have an opening here to get to the parking? You have an opening here to get to the park? No? What do
No,
you?
you're only parking from this point. This is the curve that allows you to, and then here, you don't come.
Okay, okay, all right, so let's go back to this. You come in here. And so there's a column here.
There's a sidewalk.
So I don't understand though. This looks, what is the width? What is this width? Comparing to this width, it's not, this is more, you're showing more parking than shows here.
That's all right. This one is double face here, the other one. It's the same size.
Okay.
What is the elevation? It's for elevation.
Because the chairman now understands, he just helped you.
What are the other four elevations? Four elevations.
Just let planning board figure it out. So maybe you can point out in your right side elevation or your left side elevation where the entrance to the parking is, since you said it isn't in the front. As where you say, where you both say parking, and you said, no, you go in from 13th Avenue, right? 14, not sure. All right, you know what? I asked a question. If you can't answer it, that's fine. All right, I have a question for you guys. So what I am.
I just want to point out, the building doesn't go all the way to the property line. It's set back from the property line.
Okay.
So maybe that's the confusion. So that area of parking.
Is open to the sky. Is open to the sky.
Yeah, it's open to the
All
sky.
right, and that's what I asked initially. That's
Yeah,
what I
it's
asked
not-
initially.
It's like.
Where's the parking? Is some of it open to the sky? No, it's all cantilevered.
Yes.
And now when I'm looking at it, so, okay, I guess there's the answer.
Yeah, so that part of the parking is open to the sky. Just two areas are like
Okay,
with the roof on it,
so I'm glad we got past that.
where we were. Okay. Um,
All right, so the other question I have is just, seems curious to me, you helped in writing this code, and yet it's not sufficient for you. So that confuses me. What happened that it's no longer sufficient?
Well, the code was really more of a function of use of self-storage, not size of self-storage, shall we say.
But the code does include the amount of storage you can build, which you at the time agreed to.
No, it's a function of square footage. Right, so on any given piece of property, depending on the size of the piece of property, will determine the square footage of the building.
So was an FAR attributed to this
I
code?
believe there is no FAR in this zone, if I'm
Okay.
correct.
Okay,
And it turns out just economically unviable at this point, but for other lots and other projects.
all right, but
the
so
code may be
let's stick
fine.
with your lot and your project and what you were involved with and what you got approvals for. And you took the drive-through out, which I'm assuming increased the amount of storage space that you now have to rent. Is that correct?
It would.
Right. So you took that out, you increased the amount of storage space, and you want another story above it. Again, I'm not sure I understand why such a change at this point. Unless it's just, hey, let's try to build another story and we can make more money. And that's fine. You were entitled to make more money, but you were involved in this process from its infancy, and now you're already looking for a variance. I think it sets a very poor precedent, especially when you were involved in this process. So why don't we look for comment? Those are my main concerns. And other than needing a better rendering of the building, and we can go from there. Ladies, anything or?
I really don't have any additional comment. I think my question was really around the parking, which you explained a little bit better because I couldn't determine that from what I was looking at.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the
I
question?
said my question was about the parking, which we sorted out. I just couldn't determine that. And particularly from what the chair had asked, because he asked if there was any open air originally, and he was told no. So I understand a little bit better now.
I have questions around the retail space. The bottom part is an AI incubator, which is not technically retail. And how often would you be planning to have classes or certification? Is this a business? Is it a commercial business? What exactly is going on?
It
in
would
that
be,
first
it would be a
floor?
business training people in our, in this particular, it's actually a growth out of the vending machine business that used to be there, that my partner owns, called Via Touch Media. There'd be people who entrepreneurially wanted to run, they're like little stores. And so there'd be training for those people, and it could be it could be classes several days a week. I mean, it's kind of in the startup concept now and the planning board would probably have to allow us that as a retail use.
So that would be another change because if there's a retail space on the bottom, you get to have what, 5 stories? What is the rule?
It's 4 stories.
4 stories. Right, right. So the retail space situation to me seems somewhat.
Right. I mean, you know, we've also been in the last 3 years looking for retail uses and they're not a lot of great options out there for that right now.
So financially, what is the difference between the 5 stories and the 6 in terms of your
Well, if
profit and loss? What's the difference?
Well, if everything is granted in terms, it's basically the difference between 60,000 gross square feet and 100,000 gross square feet. So it's about 25% more storage. And that really pencils it out a lot better. I mean, the other thing that's changed in this interim is interest rates, and that's impacted on the business as well.
So, so getting back to that line of questioning or concern is normally without retail, it would be a 4-story and you would be seeking 1 or 2 more stories if that was the case. I think the retail is, although it sounds great, like you found, it's not easy to lease that space out. And it's kind of like, I think, wishful thinking on the part of planners, let's have some retail space on the bottom. But then the reality is, can you rent it out and where's the value in it? It gives you the bonus of another story. And, I feel like that's really why that space is even there at this point. But beyond that, the fact that you would want to put potentially put this in there, that's not really a retail. It will create, I think it adds to the concern on parking spaces at that point. Because if they're going to have classes there 1 day, 2, 3, 5 days a week, however, how many students might there be? To me, for the storage, the parking, I don't think is a real issue. If it was just self-storage, because people come and go, there's not more than 10 people there at one time generally anyway, but it's not an issue. But when the retail, I'm sure, adds to the number of spaces, but I think the use that you're looking at will even add more consistent on-site parking requirements. So I don't know if there's a way to
We're
kind
just
of.
trying to get creative to come up with something to fill the space that.
No,
productive,
I
but-
appreciate, I think it's kind of, I mean, if it's a viable thing, I think it sounds fine, but yes.
So that the retail, ground floor retail is a special permit criteria. When you go before the planning board, they're gonna ask you, is this a retail space? Because they have to give you a special permit. After the zoning variances are granted, they have to give you a special permit for this. And they have to look at the special permit criteria. They could ask you, well, the criteria say that this has to be retail space and this is not. Therefore, we do not grant you the special permit. And you're stuck.
Well, then we're just back to looking for traditional retail.
So why wouldn't you consider,
But what I'm saying is they may not give you the special permit approval. You see what I'm saying?
You've lost me there somewhere.
Okay. What you're looking to do is not as of right under zoning. It's a special permit use. So it's not like the zoning that's in place on that property does not permit self-storage. It permits self-storage if you obtain a special permit from the planning board. the special permit has criteria.
Yes.
The planning board examines that criteria to determine whether you comply with or do not comply with that criteria. An AI generator space, is it retail? That's for the planning board to decide. They may decide that it is not retail, invalidating your project. I'm just putting that out there. That's not for this board to decide. That's for the planning board to decide.
Right, it's
So-
just really an option, to be honest. It's an option. I mean, again, if the planning board says it's got to be, you know, traditional retail, then that'll be that.
So bouncing off of that, would you consider eliminating the retail? And I don't know if that creates a problem, lowering it 1 story, looking for a variance for us for the 1 story. And then your parking probably is as much of an issue. And I don't know if that's something, if you,
Yes.
I'm not saying that, you know,
In a
we would
word, yeah.
approve that, but I think as a board, you know, I think it may make a little more sense to us. And- Yeah. No retail. No retail. I mean, the neighborhood is not really, in my opinion, retail conducive.
I agree. Unfortunately, I agree.
Yeah, so it just seems like, oh, let's say we're gonna put retail so we can get an extra story, and then if that, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, where you can look, instead of, you know, looking for 1-story variance with retail, you can look for 1-story variance without retail, and the building will be one floor less. The parking requirements will probably, you may not even need a variance. I don't know what those numbers are gonna look like, but that may be easier for us to swallow.
That'd be great for me, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's a brilliant suggestion, which I had not thought of.
Actually, it says right here in the criteria, permissible retail uses on the ground floor level include banks, retail bakers, restaurants or stores, and shops for sale at retail or the performance of customary personal services. That's in black and white.
So the AI thing would really not, and I know you can say, well, listen, I won't go for AI. I'll put a bodega, convenience store, a dollar store.
Well, there's strictly actually because when we were working on this code together with the city, we wanted to avoid dollar stores, and that's
Yeah, right.
that sort of thing.
And, you know, I think the city is always saying, oh, let's put retail because this helps with the street traffic. It's not just a building where people come and go. And yeah, at times it makes sense, but the retail, I mean, there's so many vacant retail stores all over the city, and even in Fleetwood, which, you know, is a nicer part of town, downtown in the business district, there's empty retail. And, you know, I just don't think you're going to fill it. And then if there's a school there, it sounds nice, but then it creates parking issues, and it's kind of, you don't even know if it's something that would even work. So
Contiguous to this property is a consideration.
yeah, there's some residential across the street. There's residential, yeah, down 13th and 14th.
And actually on across the street too. It's 2
Yeah.
houses.
Right. So I know that there is one objection from the public that we. Oh, okay. So before we read that in, why don't I ask if there's someone from the public who you would like to speak? Okay, please come up.
Good evening. My name is Ina Schwartz. I'm a homeowner at 145 South 13th Ave. So my home falls in the shadow of this building, this proposed building, of which I have been totally ignorant. I purchased my home in 2022. nobody made any kind of disclosure to me when I purchased my home of this sort of thing. I was quite surprised to hear it said that there was a vision, I don't recall whose vision it was, a vision of 242nd Street being a commercial strip, because in my experience of descending that street from White Plains Road, it consists of apartment buildings and homes. There are, beginning at the middle, between 13th and 14th Ave, there is that building, which is.
So I'm just,
And there's nothing.
I'm going to just ask you to address us.
I beg your
Okay? Yeah, no, that's okay. I just,
Sir.
that's just a rule of the committee and, you know,
Done.
they're here, they'll hear you and they'll, okay.
Okay, so there are no buildings. There's no such thing as a 5-story building on that strip, not until one gets to like 2nd Street, where there's a very tall, maybe 11-story building or something. So there are homes and some apartment buildings, and they are all short, as was this building. So my neighbors across the street just installed solar panels on their roof. They also fall in the shadow of this building. I'm surprised if it turns out that there's only one objection, because they're, within the circumference of 500 feet. There are more homes, as I say, on South 13th Ave. That's a residential street. 14th Ave is a residential street. This is a residential neighborhood. There are some car repair places, which are also short, on the strip, and bodega on the corner, and they are all short. So that a self-storage building would even be considered in a residential, what I had believed was a residential neighborhood, I am shocked and appalled, because there's plenty of streets with, 6-story buildings and other story buildings that this would even be proposed or have reached the stage of approval in 2021, pre-COVID or whatever. I am very surprised. So my objections were on the grounds of the blocking the light and the increased traffic. There are many, it is a residential neighborhood, and there are many more residents with vehicles than there are driveways, and parking as it is a problem, and residents do block homes with driveways because there's no other place for them to put their vehicles. And you're during the construction phase of this, this proposal, that would also greatly increase traffic. And I think it will greatly decrease my property. I mean, I no longer want my own property. I don't know how I could imagine to sell it. And being as I just, bought it in 2022. So I have expressed my.
Okay, I have a couple questions if you don't mind. So you gave your address of, you're on 13th or 14th?
145 South 13th Avenue.
145 South 13th Avenue. And how many lots are you away from this property?
Are
you
on the side of the street where that property is? That I wish I could have seen maps, like to see the order.
You know where the proposed building is, right?
I clearly
All right.
know.
And so you live south or north?
No, the building, if I was to the south of it, that would be fine. It wouldn't block the south light because the south.
Okay, no, I just want to clarify. So you are,
I am up from the building. The building is to the south.
okay,
of me.
and how many houses from the building, how many lots from the building? Are you directly adjacent to it? Are you two buildings?
The street,
When you say across the street, I'm confused by that.
well, because
So you're on,
I could
you're not on the
sort of-
same, you're not on 13th or 14th on the same side that the sides of the building are, right?
I'm sorry,
You are on 13th, again, you're on 13th or 14th?
I'm on 13th.
You're on 13th. So you're on the east side of 13th? or the west side of 13th?
Side 13th.
Okay, very good. I'm glad you know north, south, east, and west, because many people have trouble with that. Yeah, good. So,
I am
so-
the northeast of the building.
all right, and so how many houses from the block?
Second house in, on the far side of the street, there
Okay.
are more houses on the building side of the street.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
okay.
So I'm opposite,
All right.
because I can orient myself. That's your property, okay. So I am there.
But she's like this.
Yeah, yeah, okay. No, I get the idea. So, so you know that Third Street is a different zone than where your house is, or do you? All right, so let me explain. So you're in a residential
Yes.
zoned neighborhood. Unfortunately, the zoning on Third Street is commercial business, which it has always been. Now, there are a couple houses south on Third. I don't know.
Oh, west, all the way to
Uh,
White Plains Road is homes and, oh, absolutely.
Right. Right, I know that. Those are not conforming. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You know, where this building is a CB zone. So they have the right to build something. Prior to this particular zoning that was passed, they could only build what, 2 stories, CB?
Yeah, but for the special.
Right. So there could have been a 2-story building. Now, if they get the special permit, they could build 5 with retail on the bottom or 4, just telling you what the law states, not saying I agree with it or not. And we don't issue the special permit. So you might be coming before the planning board to further. Now, you know, the one thing that you make a very valid point about is the shadowing.
Yeah.
And when you're north of a building like that, it would be interesting, and I think, and I don't know if that's us, but it would be the planning board to really ask for a shadow study. If these variances are granted and if they go before the planning board. So I would just suggest that you keep that in mind, to keep your eye on the calendar, and as a resident, insist that the planning board do a shadow study. So you can see exactly,
How do I received notification,
you will
in
receive,
email.
notification again when and if it goes before the planning board.
Right. So I'm
So-
not responsible for monitoring as this
Well,
progresses.
yeah, yes, because it's not like,
I'm,
the responsibility is on the developer to send out these notices within, is it 500 feet?
yeah.
Within 500 feet. So that's their responsibility. They have to prove that they've done that, and that's how neighbors are notified actively instead of passively having to continue to look, right? If you're not familiar with that stuff. And you should sign up on the city website to receive email on things that happen. There's planning, and all the departments say you could at least, the best thing is to try to, you can throw them in the garbage once you see them if they're not pertinent, but at least you know what's going on in the city. So thank you for coming. And so there's just one more second. So there is
one written comment that came in. It's an objection form. It's from Janine Johnson at 149 South 14th Avenue. And she wrote a little text below it. No, 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 no. Find somewhere else for this project. This is a residential neighborhood with a lot of problems already. There is a lot on Sanford Boulevard that has a vacant lot. Try there. Find Janine Johnson.
okay. Jack, do you want
Yes,
to
to-
address?
We're going to come back next meeting. We're going to have better plans, and we're going to have modified plans. We're going to take into consideration some of the things that we've heard here tonight from you guys, the board, and from the public. And we're going to make a presentation of some changes to the plan. And we think we could probably eliminate a floor, okay? And we may need.
Try for two.
What was that?
I said try for 2 floors.
Well,
They
how
don't
do
even
we
have to
get-
come
I
before
don't
us,
know
but
that
go
you
ahead. I'm just continue. I'm sorry.
Why not?
It's just Mike's humor.
What did that guy on the Steve Allen show say? Why not, you know?
That's right.
Why
Yeah,
not?
there
Why
you
not ask for
You're
it?
dating
I
yourself.
understand.
Yeah.
We're gonna clean up the plans. We're gonna present it with a final version of what we want, clearly. And hopefully, we'll satisfy some of your concerns and get the plans up to speed and the application in a better light.
Okay.
Okay?
If I may, if the plans do change, this application needs a re-review from the plan examiner.
Well, it depends on how they change.
If it impacts the variances,
We're gonna take, he's gonna look at it, he's gonna put it together. If it needs to be submitted to the plan examiner, it will be.
okay, because the problem was, unfortunately, when the application was submitted, the incorrect plan examiner report was submitted with the package. And we only discovered today that there was a more recent plan examiner report that was not included in your package. I found it in the building department file.
Well, maybe it didn't get out to us, but as far as we know, whatever we had as the latest plan was the one that we submitted. But I don't doubt what you're saying.
What is the date of the plan examiner report that you have?
Okay, it was uploaded on October 17th, 2025 by Lizanne Sabot, who's the plan examiner. She uploaded it to your building department file on October
The
17th.
one that was submitted on the package and on the application, on the zoning board application, it was submitted on the last portion of it.
Okay, your OpenGov file for your application,
All the way at the bottom is the plan examiner report. It was the one that Lasan gave us in October.
okay, hold on, let me check. The plan examiner report that's in the file. Oh, I see what you're saying. There was one that you uploaded on June 23rd. I see. And there's another one that you, okay.
Yeah, we have issues receiving that plan examiner report. When you upload plan examiner reports, there's a field that says it's just for uploading the plan examiner report. You upload it. If there's a revised one, you upload it to the same location. That way it overrides the previous one. We're dealing with an application where we're looking at it's confusing. This application needs less confusion. As you can see from the way this meeting has gone down for you guys, we need less confusion with your application. If you want the approval, less confusion, guys.
Okay.
The package that you received had the October 17, right?
I know, but you guys, listen, if we can go over phone records, we can go over email records. The back and forth between you guys and me was extensive. Way above average for a typical application.
Well, listen, what's way above average? I don't particularly agree with what you're saying right now.
Well, you weren't on the phone, so yeah, you can disagree if you like, but I can go look at my phone records and email records. There's a lot of back and forth on this. A lot of phone calls. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it?
Well, isn't that what's supposed to happen?
Sure.
Well, so
But what I'm saying, look, we can argue about this if you'd like. We have all night. The thing is that, you can, it doesn't take, any outside observer watching this proceeding would see that this is a chaotic, confusing application.
I agree. The application tonight is very confusing, okay? We're going to clean that up. but the communication prior to coming here tonight, I don't disagree that, I don't agree that it was above average. Okay, whatever communication
let-
was going.
Based on your assessment,
Let's-
that's your assessment.
yeah.
I have my own assessment. and
Yeah, let's
my
not,
thing.
let's not worry about arguing that
Talk
point.
about this all you want.
We agree that there needs to be some changes. There needs to be a clearer presentation. So
Agreed.
let's focus on that and,
No argument on that point.
okay.
I'm going to clean up the plans and the application, and if we have to go back to the planning department, I mean, the
Building.
building department to get an updated review, we will.
I appreciate all the help that we have received tonight, but I also have to point out, and you may know that, and Maria, we were looking for that plan examiner report for over 3 months. And we were following up with the plan for 3 months, almost every day, and I can send you that excessive.
Okay,
Communication.
that's fine too. Then
You know,
there's
it-
confusion and
it-
chaos all around. I mean, it is what it is.
So, you know.
All right, so then this will be adjourned until the next meeting?
I believe we're ready to, pretty much ready to make that motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, okay?
So,
This is yours, Tom?
all right. Will, is there anybody that has joined us online? No. Any other comments from staff? Nkechi? You've been very quiet tonight, Nkechi. And that's fine. If you didn't have anything to say, it's best not to say it. All right, so is there a motion to adjourn this till December? All in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll see you next month. Thank you.
Shape.
Okay, and just, let's see,
17, 16.
it's the 16th. Okay, the 16th, we have a 6 o'clock work session, 6:30 public hearing on December 16th. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you. Are we still live or you just? Oh, minor detail. All right, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Okay, do we have a second? Then